Well, hello, this is Denise Miller, your Leadership Lady Live, and we are here for week 4 of Dad Stories. During the month of June, we've been honoring fathers and speaking about how the father figures in the lives of various corporate leaders have affected the way that they lead. And we're going to start off with another Apple CEO, the late Steve Jobs. But before we go further, I'm going to ask you if you like the content that I've been sharing, please do hit the thumbs up or the heart, and please do subscribe, and please do share. Remember, there are people who you know, who I don't know, who really do need to hear this content, and I would love it if you would share with them. Now, Steve Jobs. Some of you may know that Steve Jobs was adopted. Steve Jobs was adopted by his dad, Paul Jobs, who was a machinist. Have you noticed that most of the fathers that we've talked about are not fathers who were in the big corporate leadership roles? They were just everyday working men who instilled great values in their children. Now, Paul Jobs really, because he was a machinist, had great attention to detail and craftsmanship, and he instilled that in Steve Jobs. And he also instilled the principle of doing things right and making sure that what you did was quality work. And that became one of the hallmarks of the Apple Corporation. Now, as a leader, sometimes the tendency can be to let things go. Sometimes the tendency can be to overlook the details, especially if you're leading creatives, because a lot of creatives really do not have great attention to detail. But as we model that for them, as we push them toward it, as we perhaps even pair them with coworkers who are more detail attentive, we will definitely improve the quality of the overall work of our team and, of course, the quality of the organization. It is so important because sometimes we let things slide by because it is so much easier to let it go because no one will notice. But ultimately, when detail is not attended to, we pile up issues that eventually do come to roost, to blow up, to cause an issue in our teams and ultimately in our corporations. So I encourage you to encourage your team members to pay attention, to deliver quality. And I encourage you to refuse to accept less than quality work. Now, we're going to go on to our last person, Virginia or Ginny Rometty. She's the former CEO of IBM, who was actually not raised by her dad. Her dad left her family when she was young. She was the oldest of 4, and she was born in Chicago and raised outside of Chicago. She is currently an author. The name of her book is Good Power: Leading Positive Change in Our Lives, Work, and World. Her father left the family, and she was raised by her single mom. And she speaks often of her grandfather and the influence that he had on her life. And he told her a lot about the Great Depression, taught her a lot about resilience, taught her a lot about being adaptable and about how to face adversity. Ginny Rometty took that experience to IBM and turned the organization into one where diversity was championed, where they began to work in the world of AI, and they began to make great strides. So, as a leader, my question is, are you encouraging your people to be resilient? Are you encouraging them to be adaptable? Are you encouraging them as they face adversity? And everyone faces adversity. It could be work adversity in the form of layoffs or demotions. It could be personal adversity that you have to help them through as their team leader or their direct supervisor. It could be health issues. It could be conflict issues on the job, but encouraging that resilience and adaptability and the willingness to face the hard things and understand that they can come out on top is important. I would like to ask you if you would please, before the month is over, share at least one dad story. It doesn't have to be long, but I would love to hear the stories about your dad. After all, I began sharing stories with sharing the story of my dad. And please do remember to like and to share. Thank you so very much. I look forward to meeting with you next month for our July series of videos. Have a great balance of the week.